Hi, everyone. Happy October of 2025, in case you're watching this and it's old. But hey, we've got Dee from Minnesota, and we've got Anne Marie from Ireland, and me from South Texas. We have Yvonne should be coming to us from Washington at any point, and we're missing our best buddy Kate from Canada. She's under the weather today. So today we're talking about the eights in the tarot. I think we started with the kings and worked our way down to the nines, and we haven't done it for a while. So I thought maybe the eights might be a good one to work on. I pulled one, two, three, four different decks, and I have all my eights out. How about you guys? Did you guys pull
Uh,
decks?
yeah, I pulled three or four. I got that I pulled.
How about
Hmm.
you, Emery? Do you just
I
stick with one?
did it. I pulled four decks.
Ah, there you go. Okay. And I'm trying to look at like I love looking at the differences of these things and what they could mean. Do you care where we start? Do you want to just start with the wands and work our way across to the majors, or would you rather start with the majors and work down to the minors? Does it matter?
I started with the majors because I think the major is the commander in chief of the minors.
Okay. All right then. There we go. I pulled two. I pulled this. Okay, so I pulled the strength card, and all four of the ones that I chose have the strength card. Did anybody have one where the eight is justice?
No.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
because that gets changed, that's interchanged, from time to time in some of these decks. The other one I pulled was the star, which
Oh,
is 1 + 7 = 8.
yes, I didn't think that. Yes,
And and frankly, I mean, I love the star, and I have my, I have, how I read the star, how I look at the star, for my clients. I just don't really see them real. I just have a hard time seeing that relating to the rest of the eights.
Star.
It's kind of
But
out there.
the only thing is that there's the eights are all about movement, and the star is about moving on with your life and moving towards the best place and the best person that you can be in your life. So it's always about moving out of where you are to where you want to be or where you're aiming for. So to
Right.
that point, it is about movement and being in a good place, isn't it?
Yes.
When I look at the star in most of them, and I have in the classic by Barbara Moore. That's what the back looks like. In the
Mm.
classic by Barbara Moore, this one, and there's a couple of others that I don't have here. They're in my shop, but it just reminds me of. It reminds me of the three wise men, right? Following the star to, following the star to, to baby Jesus. I mean, it just kind of reminds me of there's something out there greater than ourselves that's guiding us, that's leading
Mm.
us, that you just all you have to do is trust in that and follow that,
Mm.
and oftentimes too I see that, and I guess we're starting with the star then. I guess I also see that as um, uh, uh, I talk to people about having a focus down the road, having something out there to drive, to bring you forward, to draw you forward. Because if you don't have a goal, a long-term goal or something, then you have all these little detours on the path of life that are constantly jerking you off your path. And that's what, keeps us ungrounded, and that's what keeps us you know uh, from accomplishing the things in life that we want to accomplish. And if you have that goal way down the road that you're looking at, and nothing could be farther away for us to follow than a star in the sky. So
Mm.
anyway, that's kind of
So
how I look
could
at
we
the star.
be even talking about maybe a small vision board with the star at the top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what you're aiming for long term, because I agree with you. You tend to get off course. Something else takes your attention or takes your interest, and suddenly you're gone down this rabbit hole. So I like that idea. I think that could keep you focused
One
and
other
really.
one other thing that I tend to see with the star is I call it the light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm.
You know, we're on this long quest, and we're trying to heal. We're trying to, you know, believe in the universe, trust in the universe. You know, we're trying to ride that wave that I had spoken about earlier off video. But I really think that yeah, sometimes, you know, things can get very bleak, and we can't see the forest for the trees. And what I love about the star is it lights up the night sky, and it gives us that we can see that light at the end of the tunnel. We can see that it's worth moving forward to keep moving toward that light.
And isn't the star about we could look at? I like that idea, Lynn. And I think the star is about possibilities then. It lights up or illuminates
Possibilities over
all
probabilities.
is
Yeah.
going forward. So it's like showing a spotlight on all the possibilities that are there for you so that you can be the best person that you can be. It's no good. It would be no good me looking to be 4 foot or 6 foot 11 and with long blonde hair. You've got to say, what are your capabilities? What can you achieve? And then aim for the best you that you can be and put that up on your board. And how are you going to get there? Little steps to get there. I like that idea. Mm.
So I'm looking at my journal, and I've got to do something with this journal and get it out there to other people, because I've got 10 years worth of the best stuff I've ever heard out there, and I just love it, and I love to quote it. Life can be a self-fulfilling prophecy, and when we hope for the best will result. It's possibilities over probabilities. So we must keep a positive outlook, and I think that the star gives us that that message of stay positive, stay optimistic, that light at the end of the tunnel. I also have here a guiding light. It gives us direction or a sense of direction. And
Mm.
and then as a shadow, because every card we know has a shadow, the shadow would be losing faith in our ability to overcome our challenges. So,
Mm.
Dee, what say you?
Well, I was kind of looking at eights and
I must get my glasses.
and if you are doing, throwing out some cards to take a look at it with eights, one card that always kind of intrigues me with it is the death card, leading to a transformation, or maybe throwing up that question where you ask yourself, what do I need to change, or where am I now in my life? And you get eights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just another, like, an aha moment. And so I kind of sometimes will pull that death card and just sit it there, to just, like the star, to remind me, a guiding light. Or do I need to go a little deeper and um see what type of journey this is going to lead me? Is it going to be emotional, for cups or whatever it is? How strong am I? How deep do I have to get? And I have this death card, that, I mean, it's a great Halloween card, actually. That really sets you back. It's just a skeleton, and it just says, where am I? I may need to start over. But with eights, there is that movement. And what kind is it? If you're trapped, if you're emotional, if you're, where are you headed? It asks the right questions.
Body, mind, and soul. Yeah, the
Yeah.
eights, there's action in all. You know, it's funny that you bring up the death card, and I know this is a little off topic, but you know, I've been going through this extreme change right now. I'm extreme change in my shop environment, from one shop to, I'm leaving the shop and I'm doing a different shop. And I have a hologram Rider Waite Smith death card, and I pulled it up, and I have it on my reading table, my private reading table here at home. and, and it's funny, D, because the same thing. It's like I've been leaning into the death card, leaning into I am in the middle of an inevitable change, and I am going to make the best of it. And I'm riding on the back of that white horse right now. So that's
Mhm.
funny. All right. Well, if there's nothing else about the star, then let's get to the strength card. Right. typical 8. And like I said, in some decks, the 8 card, the 8 is justice. But for us today, obviously we have, at least 10 decks between us right now, and they're all strength. So we should be looking at the strength card. Anne Marie?
This was a new idea that I came across, and it said that the strength card represents nature. I had never seen it really like that, but represents nature, the will and the passion of our instinctive nature. They don't need to be broken, but they do. It does need to be refined. Our instinctive nature needs to be refined and brought into consciousness so that all levels of creation may come into harmony. So I never saw it as being a nature card. This was just I'm not sure which deck this was now. I forgot to write down which this one was. I think it's the classic Rider Waite. And in the advice column position, it's assertively discipline yourself and separate self-interest from enlightened wisdom. Demand and expect the same from others who have some power in this situation. I thought it was a bit strange, but I wrote it down anyway as something a little bit different from the norm. And then the second deck that I had was the Wandering Star, and it talked about the courage and grace. That courage and grace are now replacing the reactive nature of youth. Can you care for your physicality? Maybe a priority. When you see the strength.
That's true. I mean, it's, strength is, I mean, we always talk about strength not being about the physical strength, but it can be, right? I mean, strength can
care for your active body, your body. And it's also said Leo-like. It can be like, and the strength card is Leo-like. Maybe it's time to rest and gather your power and use it only when necessary, so that you're primed and ready to go when necessary. And rely mostly on the muscle of the heart rather than brute force, because this is your greatest strength. I liked that. So rely.
Where I was just thinking where the strength card as a physical strength can come up. That can come up in a health reading. So because we lose strength, I'm talking about physical strength.
Physical strength, yeah.
I think health readings is probably where that physical, but we know that the strength card isn't about that. It's about grace under pressure. It's about strength of conviction and strength of character, and who we are.
You see, it might come up in a reading, maybe when you're helping out your children, maybe when you're babysitting or child minding or collecting, or when you're doing something that has become a burden for you, but you don't see any way out of it, and you're being drained, that your strength, your vitality is being drained, that your strength is being drained away from you. So in that way, you might have to look and see what needs to happen. How can you rectify this in the nicest possible way?
Sure.
Being honest with yourself, that you have to look after your own self first of all.
So Dee, what are you thinking about the strength card? What do you, when you see the strength?
Yeah, I'm with Anne Marie as far as it brings up the questions that you need to answer for yourself. What is your inner strength? Have you ever asked it? Have you ever looked at it? Do you know how that feels? Because it is something to help you move forward. It needs to work like that for you. How, especially if you're stagnant, if you're feeling stuck, what inner strength from that card will help you pull forward and make you know that you've hit that spot and you're asking yourself the right question.
Right.
Instead of just, because sometimes you feel like, I know where I want to go, but I don't know how to get there. It's about the journey, but what skill do I need to get going on that journey? And that's where the pull comes from.
Well, I'll tell you, I am, we see a lot of these. I mean, here's from the classic classic deck. And here's from one of our favorites, Guardian of the Night.
Oh, I have that.
Guardian of the Night. This is,
yes, I have that. I love it.
I can't remember. What's the name of this deck?
Mystical moment.
Mystical moments, right? Tarot mystical
Yeah.
moments. But what I have two here I want to show you that I thought were what I like, and this is out of Everyday Witch, which is, you know, one of my favorite decks. And it's and I love this. I love this card because
Yes.
I mean it's showing, yep, she's taming the, you know, she's taming the lion, right? She's taming that primal. But you know what, look at her manifesting. She is working on a plan, right? She's working on something to to you know, to get this lion to be that she can get command of this lion. And look, with all the craziness, look at the tornado in the background, right? It's like with all this crazy wild stuff going on, the manifesting, the tornado, everything, she's managing to find the still in the storm at that moment, you know.
She,
And I think that it's being able
that
to find that center. And you know, and she's doing it just with, she's doing it with her conviction. She's doing it, you know, and I just love that. You know, I love that
that
about the card.
the Gilded Tarot says it's a matter of finding your calm strength, that calm strength that you have inside.
Right.
And also it talks about um having an acceptance of what life might bring. Don't be fighting don't be fighting reality. It might ask you, are you fighting a battle that you can't win? Where is your strength? Your whole strength might be in acceptance. It
You
might
know,
be in
that's so
pulling,
true.
and,
That's so true.
and,
It's fighting that battle you can't win, you know.
and it
And
also,
and,
mm,
and on that note, this is from the Guardian of the Night, and which I think
Oh
Dee
yeah, I have that deck. I love
turn me
that
on
deck.
to the darn thing. But this is so, it is so amazing because it in the book, this gal, this is the creator of the Crow Tarot, and this is her. I'll tell you, just her book alone, her little white book alone from this is absolutely brilliant. I'll put this down below. But she talks about the snake refraining from eating the rat, right? From, instead of going for the easy meal, waiting. And in turn, here is the rat knowing that it's in danger, knowing that it's got an uphill battle, and standing, having the courage and the strength to stand up for what it's, you know, for itself right there too. And so I think that it's, yeah, I love the strength card. Sometimes, you know, people need that. They just need to know that there is, you know, that you have what it takes, you know.
mm,
And it's telling you in this reading, if it's in a reading, it's telling you you need to stand up for yourself. You need to be strong, but you also need to pick your battles too. And you need to do it for the right reasons, because
and,
you can back that, you know, you can either piss that lion off or you can back him down, you know. And you have to pick which one.
it might ask you, well, if you're in a situation, what resources, what inner resources do you have? Or what, if you were in previous situations like this, it might tell you, go back and see what worked for you and what didn't work. Because sometimes I find with the strength card, you might be inclined to be impulsive. You might be jumping in and trying to crush this situation or trying to deal with the situation. Just stop for a minute and go to that calm inside place and say, what have I tried before that didn't work? And avoid that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Strength, it takes a lot of strength to stay calm, and softness takes a lot of strength, because your instinct is to rush in. If there's a situation you're not happy with, your instinct
Yeah,
is to rush in.
right. And that so reminds me of this card, because the snake, instead of jumping in and getting his meal, he's refraining. He's having to use his strength to refrain from something, which
Mm,
is something else in life that, you know, we need to worry about. All right, let's
mm.
move on to the wands. Let's move into the wands. The one thing that I thought this was such a beautiful card. This is from our uh,
Yep.
what was it? Not precious. I want to say precious moments.
Mystical
Magic
moments.
mystical moments.
Mystical moments.
Tarot of the mystical moments. There you go.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so beautiful, because you know what? This is a need to take action. Something is coming in, but in this card, it's coming in for a soft landing, which you don't see very often, you know, and I think that was interesting. But one of the things that we see a lot is we see the wands coming in. This is from Classic. We see the wands coming in straight, right? And I look at this card and I think everything is lining up as it should be. There is the one thing I don't like about this card is that it doesn't tell us anything. It's like one of the only cards in the deck. It just says news is coming in. It's coming in hot. We don't know what it is yet. And it's so what do the other cards tell us? And then you just turn. Not every card has to be a major player. This card can very well be you know, just a catalyst to the next card, right? It's just a conduit to the next card. What is coming in fast? And then we look to see with that. But this is from the Everyday Witch. And what I love is the contrast between these two cards, because when I use this deck, you know, I see the 8 differently. I see it as everything is up in the air. It's nothing is set in stone yet. You know, we don't know what's going on yet. You know, and it's, you know, it's still confusing and we don't know. And which I love about this card too, is because oftentimes, you know, people want to know what they want, information. They want to know what's going on. And it's like, I'm sorry, but it's still not set in stone yet. It's not lined up yet. You know, there's a lot of confusion back there with that tornado again. So anyway, Dee, what do you have on the wands?
Well, I have a deck called Tarot of the Witches, which I always usually pull out for Halloween, and it's kind of a strange little deck. But I mean, this is the strength card. It's like, if you look like that, this is what when I say somebody and we talk about strength, having strength, I'll say, this is what you look like to me. Come on, you're stuck in the dirt. There you are. You know what to do. But my wands is everything up in the air. What part are you going to grab? What movement, as things move on, and they move quickly with the 8s, are they moving in the direction that serve you? Is this something that you have brought about to make happen? Is it the information you're looking for? And again, not knowing what the decision is or what the question is, it all keeps going over, where are you at with this? Are you stagnant? Do you need that inner strength? What are you looking for? It's
a need. It's a call to action. It's movement. It's needing to move forward.
Is it ever information for you guys?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, something's coming in. It's coming in hot. Whatever information's coming, it's not here yet.
Yeah, it's on fire.
And so what is this? What's coming in? Well, what do the next cards tell you? You know, or what the previous card? That's why I said it's so frustrating, because, you know, it doesn't really tell us anything. It just tells us be ready, be prepared to take action. You know,
it might even on that communication thing, it might even be saying, be aware that there are more pieces than one to this puzzle. You have 8 wands coming in. You might be waiting for a very important email. You might get something that's going to be confirmed. It might be a contract. Make sure you have all the pieces before you decide what's happening.
Thanks, girls. I guess that's the card I should have drawn this week, huh?
Yeah. No, I'm living on the 8 of Cups.
Oh, you know, well, hang on just a minute. The one thing I wanted to say too, I'm looking at my own notes, is I forgot the one thing. When you have everything up in the air, are you grounded at that moment?
That's exactly.
Not particularly, right?
Not really. You're not.
So I think the thing about the 8s in general is we're talking about information. We're talking about speed. We're talking about things being up in the air, possibly having to make a snap decision, right? It's or it symbolizes just putting something in motion. Maybe you just need to put something in motion.
Yeah, you need to get it out there.
And it also could be mixed messages as well. So things are in flux.
And I also see it there as just what you were saying, really, another way of saying it. I see it sometimes as scattered energy going to ground.
Absolutely.
You to ground yourself. Your energy is scattered. It's being wasted. It's neither up or down. It's midair. So maybe you need to ground you. Maybe you need to go to ground, or wait until these come to ground. Not to be so impulsive or not to be so impatient.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Absolutely. All
Yeah.
right, D, cups. What you got?
And we got on to cups.
All right. Well, I have the same deck as pulled that mystical moment.
Yep.
I love this big cup where it says if nothing's not serving you, maybe you just take all your stuff and walk away. You know what I'm saying?
That's the Erenberg deck.
Oh, that's Erenberg. Yeah. I mean, but I have the mystical moment one too, that we're walking away from it.
I just think it's a weird card. I mean, it doesn't.
Well,
it's, you know what I like about either one of these, which is either the witch or the classic. What I like about either one of these, and what I like to say is, to me, it's a conscious decision to walk away from something that is no longer serving you, and you can tell that he or she, they're not walking away they're not stomping out. They have actually taken the time to put all their cups in a row, right? They're lining everything up. They're getting all their ducks in a row, I should say. And then they're walking away from it. And it could be something as, as serious as a relationship that they don't see a future with. But I also look at it as something as simple as, I'm sick and tired of watching reruns. I'm going to go sign up for Netflix. It's like, because the reruns on TV aren't working for me anymore. You know what I'm saying? It could just be it's time to walk away from something.
but are you brave enough? Can you ask yourself, are you brave enough to walk away from what there is, what you're familiar with? Can you do it?
You know, when I see this come up, and I see these come up a lot, this card come up a lot in relationship questions, right? Should I stay? Should I go?
Yeah, I know.
You get the card, you lay it down and say, what does this card say to you? And you don't even have to answer. You can see the look in their face. When their faces drop when they see the card. Oh, it's like, it doesn't mean you have to walk away. It doesn't mean you should walk away.
Oh.
But if you feel this card, then obviously you have those feelings, because if it doesn't instantly make you want to stop and dig your heels in, right? If it doesn't offend you, if it softens you, then it's like, oh yeah, this is how I've been feeling. This is what I've been thinking. And if the card shows it, Anne-Marie, what you got on this?
I like this card. It's the Radiant Rider-Waite. And the reason I like this is because, as you can see, the cups are all nicely stacked, but there's a hole.
Yes, there is.
There's a hole there.
Yep.
Strange, Anne-Marie, because in the classic, which is almost the identical card, right?
So you've got four.
My eighth one is up in the sky.
You've got your four on the bottom row. This has 5 on the bottom row, which leaves a hole. Everything is almost right. You've invested yourself emotionally into this situation, and now you're wondering, is it time to change direction? There's a disappointment there. There's an emotional distress there. But you will notice that even though you have that and you're going to walk away from the situation, that seems to be the general advice seems to be he's walking away or she's walking away from the situation. But he has left the situation intact. He hasn't knocked over any of the cups.
Yeah.
Hasn't given up entirely. He has walked away to see, is there anything better out there? I mean, that's a possibility if you're in a situation where you're not sure. It has your emotional, what have I got here? Letting go of an emotional situation that has outlived its usefulness. Right. But you're not sure there's anything better out there. But what's happening now is not fulfilling you. So reluctantly you decide, I'm out of here. I can't put any more into this situation, but I still have something. I still have this emotional situation is still standing. Right. I'm not going to wreck anything we have. So it might be something aware of, that you don't want to wreck what you've got in order to move out of it. Maybe preserve what you've got, rather than the 5 of cups where you look and you see 3 cups are knocked over and there are only 2 remaining. With this, you haven't destroyed anything, or you haven't made any decisions that you can't come back from.
So I'm looking at my notes and I have the ultimate surrender. And just from a different kind of looking at it from a different way in a reading, it could, if it comes up first in a reading, it could indicate walking away from something that starts a sequence rather than becomes a consequence of it. So it's like, ooh, it's time to walk towards something or walk away, channeling your energy in a different direction, or focusing your attention in a new direction. It could also be an exit strategy. I have, if it was finances, I have under finances, this card represents the emotional state of being overextended, right? And you're utterly miserable because of consequences that have occurred that have put you in a financial dire strait, and that you become emotionally overextended because of it. So it might be, it just might be time to, well, and it talks about wanting to need an exit strategy. But for personal growth, I have, it's time to recognize and honor your own limits and boundaries.
Okay.
And it represents that. D.
Is this for the cups? Are we still in cups?
Yep.
Yeah. Are you done with cups?
No, I'm not done with cups. I just keep thinking, I look at that cups, and every time I think about, is this just a way for it to show me this is going to be emotional, and what kind of emotion am I, or what dissatisfaction am I going to feel from this 8? But like Anne-Marie said, none of the cups are tipped over, like the 5. And by working with it, it is just bringing up that whole thing about being grounded. How brave are you? Can you leave behind what you think is helping you, but just walk away from it and start over? And just go on that emotional journey to see where it takes you. Can you do it? To me, it's asking that question.
I think
that you've already taken this step. It's asking that question.
And when you think about it, that comes back to strength. Have you the strength to do it?
Having the strength to do it.
What strength? It takes a lot of strength to walk away from something.
Yeah. Can you follow your star? There you go.
Yeah.
Is it enough to follow?
I think you hit the nail on the head with one word: dissatisfaction. You are so dissatisfied with this situation that it's time. It's time. Life, you need healing, which comes from the star. You need healing. You need to follow that path that's, that the universe is putting in front of you, because this isn't it. Where you are now isn't it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
I remember the cozy witch. The cozy witch, which I must say I like very much. You told me about that one, Lynn. Yes. It says here, if your life feels stale, now this happens from time to time, your life feels stale, maybe it's time to explore new scenery. Sometimes we stay in a situation not because we're happy, but because it's all we've ever known.
Because we're comfortable.
Maybe it's time to try another angle. What's the worst that can happen? And do you have the strength to deal, as Dee was saying, do you have the strength to take that risk and take what will happen?
Right.
And so it's all circular, isn't it?
It is. Yes. It keeps coming back.
Yeah. Dee, what about swords for you?
For swords, what did I have? Well, I'm in that mystical moment deck, and you have that same one, Yep, I have the same one. And that to me, you put yourself in that situation. It's a mindset. Do you feel victimized? And is it that heavy that you will not be able to pull yourself out? But again, here comes that strength card. Are you
Mm.
strong enough to pull yourself out and succeed? Can you, even though you look like you're trapped, are you? And get out of your head with it.
One of the things, yeah, I call it my stinking thinking card.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I
You
call it my
see your
stinking
way out
thinking
of it.
card because technically you're not, like in some of these, like her on either one of these, the feet are not bound, right?
Yeah.
Feet are not bound. You can walk away, but what I like, and especially this is so beautiful because it's such an angelic, beautiful person inside of you is feeling so caged, but the cage is open. You can fly away if you want to. You can get out of this, but you're feeling powerless. You're feeling victimless. You're
Right.
victimized. You
Denied, yeah.
and it's a mental card. Swords are about our intellect. They're about what we think and about how we communicate what we think. And this is not only how we communicate to other people, but how our own self-talk, right? How we talk to ourselves. And that's the bad thing is you can create a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think that all is lost and you're stuck and you can't get away, you can't change something, you won't be able to. And so you end up creating the thing that you were the most worried about or upset about. So again, that's where the strength comes in. So maybe when we're looking at the eights across the board, it's almost as if strength is the key word for the eight, isn't it?
It is.
Not
And
that
to me, that card also says, hang on.
right.
Hang on, hold tight. You're not done yet. Figure out how you're going to act or what you're going to do to pull yourself out of that.
In fact, that's what I was just thinking there, Dee, just before you said that. In the card there that you were holding up, Lynn,
Yes.
are the wings outside of the cage and the body is inside the cage?
Yes.
So it occurred to me is, what thoughts are you thinking and believing that makes you think you're locked in? What is stopping you from connecting your wings that are ready to fly and take you higher to your body that is feeling trapped?
What I have in my journal, I wrote, we are so bound by fear of the unknown that we don't see our options. We sabotage ourselves with this drama. Then we wait for an outside rescue, and it's all in our mind. And the advice is, you got yourself into this, don't get yourself out of this. It's a mental thing. It's not something someone's doing to you. It's something you're doing to yourself. But how do we get here? How does this happen? And one of the things that I see when this comes up in a relationship reading, I think when we don't know where we stand at the moment in a relationship, right? Either with our boss or with our, a family member or with a relationship. When we don't know where we stand, that's when that stinking thinking takes over. And so I think that I tell people, it's like you've got to, there are certain things that you can reach out and get help with. And there are certain things that you just have to do. You have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and do it yourself. And this is one of those moments where you need to, only you can change this situation.
Because again, that comes back to only knowing what thoughts you are having that are causing you to feel this is a problem. I like what the cozy witch says. She's very straightforward. Stop overthinking it. Just do it.
Right. And that is a card of overthinking, So, yeah, and negative thinking. So we have left the Pentacles, you guys.
The Pentacle.
And the mystical moments, the tarot of mystical moments. I really like this card.
I do too.
I see what I like about it is this is somebody who well, all right, the standard, all right, here's the classic, right? It's a work card. It's called the apprentice card, or it's called the work card. I see it as doing something repetitive. And that can take you away from like a relationship, or if you need something other, if you need a filler or something to bridge, it could be, this is something that's, you're going to like, what will my next job entail? It'll entail something repetitious. It's like you can use that as a crossover. But you know what I love about this is somebody who, you know, they enjoy what they're doing, but they're creating the colors in life that they want, right? Butterflies, transformation, right? And she's creating these beautiful colors, and she's painting them the color that makes her happy, you know, that fulfills her passion and her heart. And so I think that it's working toward things that we're passionate about. You know, if you're going to put your time and effort into something, put it into something you're passionate about, and make that work for you. And what I thought was great is in this deck, this Guardian of the Night, which here's the back of the deck. I think I bought it because of the back of the deck, but man, it's not a good book. But here we have the paper wasp, and how it's making perfect hexagon holes, and over and over and over again, you know, and how, oh my God, you know, how you know, it's going for that perfection, going for that, you know. I think that and again, here's Everyday Witch. We're talking about alchemy too, right? We're talking about combining this and combining that to get what works for you, what's individual for you. So I like that. What do you think, Dee?
Oh, I had that same card. Basically, yeah, everything you said. Work with perfection. I have that Erenberg deck that I'm working on, where you just keep working, keep going for your skill, keep striving forward. I actually read once, but I don't know what deck I was looking at, where it says, look at it closely again, and maybe it's a release. Don't look at it as a job or you've got to work at this, that it's releasing you from other things that are around you, and consider it a journey, part of your journey, and you just keep perfecting it, baby steps. But when you showed us that card from that Guardian, and it shows that, like, that wasp nest. No, not that one. The other card. Okay, I want to throw up at that card. There is no way I could perfect myself. That's too much work. Just saying.
But as the apprentice card too.
Yes,
right?
It would work
It
great.
could come up and say, if somebody were asking about, you know, am I going to get, you know, whether it be a good job, or what do I need to know about my, you know, I'm job hunting. What do I need to know? This could come up as the apprentice card saying, you need to add to your skills, or you need to perfect your skills. You need to, maybe there's a class you can take, or you need to add something to your resume, and that's what's going to get you over that hump.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're looking at realistic, you know, just to sit down and come up with all the realistic things you can think of that card could stand for in various questions. So
as long as it's not so big that you will never master it. Keep it within, you know, the guidelines. Like I said, I'll wipe up my kitchen floor, but I don't want to do a gymnasium. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know, I also think it's sometimes they talk about working alone. Anne Marie, do you have this in the Rider-Waite, the standard Rider-Waite in front of you?
I don't. I don't.
It's just that he's a guy working by himself, enjoys working by himself, enjoys his craft, and so does she. She's doing a little this. Yeah, that's the card I was referring to. There you go. Yeah, it's just a matter of you know, doing something that you enjoy. You have to enjoy what you're doing too, because life is too short.
Yeah.
Now, you know what strikes me about that card, as well as what you were saying, if you had a job situation and you were trying to decide whether I'm going to go for A or I'm going to go for B, and this came up in one of them, it might indicate, look, if you go for A, you're just going for more of the same. It's going to be repetitious. You're going to get bored, just as you're getting bored now.
I'm telling you, that repetitious is a perfect, you know, it's a perfect adjective for that can bridge any type of reading.
So the same with if you were talking about a relationship reading, you could be were bored because this was going the same thing ad infinitum, boring and not self-fulfilling and not fulfilling and all that type of thing, because it's just the same thing over and over again, striving for a perfection that you might never get.
Or, Anne-Marie, it could mean consistency.
Yes,
And
yes.
for consistency in that relationship, it's going to be the same thing,
It
or
could.
it's going to be consistent where she might not have had that consistency before.
Right.
Fun.
So it really depends on the cards around it and the actual question being asked. But it's nice to explore all these different possibilities.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It also could mean that if you are not good at it, and I hate the word failure, but it means maybe this is your time to go for something else.
Mm, mm.
In that same.
Well, that's where that apprentice, comes in. It's
Yeah.
Picking up a new skill, learning something, that
That's in your
learning something
wheelhouse.
that needs to be, that needs
And
to be brought forward.
and the cozy witch goes straight to the point and tells you, sorry, fairies aren't going to come and do it all for you. Time to get down and dirty and do this job yourself.
Yeah.
There you go.
So listen, I'm looking at my journal again, and I wanted to throw out a couple of things that we didn't think about or didn't hit on. It can indicate paying your dues or finding or building a solution to a problem. So the card advises sticking to what you know best.
Huh?
And as verbs, effort, we can use the word effort. It's putting in the effort, right? Or we can use the word systemize. So I think that it's something that it is a systemized approach to something. If you sit there and look at the original card, right? He's doing this repetitive thing. He's got it down to a system, and so that could be the answer to one of the a life questions is what do I need to do to fix this issue, or what do I need to do to make my job more enjoyable? Maybe you need to devise a better system.
Better
For what
system.
you're doing, the way you're doing.
Sure.
Plus, what strikes me as well, it could be a pointer to just be aware that you might not get, if at first you don't succeed, keep trying.
Yeah.
Or, if you go for
Sure.
successive refinement, you start off with one, the next one is a bit better, and by the time you get to 8, you've got this great idea that looks, but it has come through failure.
It has.
Failure to get it right and go to the next one and the next one. Successive refinement, that comes into my mind when that happens.
Hey, thank you, ladies. Thanks for a little bit of discussion on the 8s. Let's wrap it up, and next time we can do 7s if you'd like, and then venture off into something else for a minute or two. But hopefully we'll have our lovely other ladies coming back next time, and I'll let you all go. Have a great Halloween, right? Halloween's it's always big for those of us with tarot. And then we'll be seeing you right before the holiday season starts, right before Thanksgiving next time. So
Yeah. Yes.
yeah, well, you guys take care. I love you both, and look forward to seeing you the next time. And I'll have to catch you up on what's going on with my shop.
All right.
You'll see you
Sounds
later.
good.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Anne-Marie.
Bye.